Clark Teuscher from North Central Sports Information Office joins us now. Clark, we appreciate you coming by.
Good to be back.
Well, spring break brought trips for most of the Cardinal spring teams, most successful being Coach K's softball team coming back from Arizona with an 8-2 record.
Yeah, one thing you learn quickly with Coach K is he's never completely satisfied, but it's certainly a good way to start the year. Offensively, the team looks very, very sharp. Always a good thing to see once you get outside for the first time. He's got a pitching staff that doesn't have a ton of experience, but they've come along pretty well, and he's still a little unsettled on a couple of the infield positions. So we may see him tweak that still a little bit.
And the Cardinals, not only come back with some victories, but they sweep the Conference Player of the Week awards with Laura Whitfield and Brianna Nelson shining in the Southwest, and Whitfield coming back with a new school record.
Yeah, Laura went 5 for 5 with 5 RBIs in one of the games down there, and actually turned out to be pretty big because it was an 8-inning game. Laura actually wasn't with the team last fall for fall practice. She was studying abroad in Australia, so she had to come in, and she was in a lot in the winter working on her own in the batting cages, getting her swings in, and it certainly looks like it's paid off for her. Brianna was part of the pitching staff last year, wasn't the number one, but she has worked her way into a role where she can be counted on for some solid innings for several times a week.
And the lacrosse team headed to the Northwest for spring break, starting with a big victory. They eventually coming back with a 2-2 overall record.
They went out there and played Linfield College the first game and won 19-3, which is a team that beat up on them pretty much in the opposite fashion the last time they went out there a couple of years ago. Unfortunately, our leading scorer in the program's history, Amy Frazzini, went down with a concussion in the first half of that game, so they didn't have her for the other two contests, and those ended up coming out on the losing end of those. So they're back on campus now, and they've had about a week off. They'll have about a week off before their next game, following a pretty heavy spring break schedule.
Definitely, and the women's golf team kicked off its spring season in Florida, really taking it to Milliken. I imagine their main goal over the next couple of weeks, I think they have 3 or 4 tournaments over the course of April, is just kind of stay in shape while they're kind of patiently waiting to see if they get one of those at-large bids.
I don't know if patiently is the word I would use to describe it, but they are still waiting to see if they get that at-large bid to the national championships. So they're going to need to stay sharp and get their swings in and make sure their games are ready. Certainly looks like they're on the way to being at that point. Alyssa Gaudio is also, if the team doesn't get in, she's in the hunt for an at-large individual bid. Certainly hasn't done anything to hurt that. They actually had scheduled to play 2 rounds against Milliken and ended up shortening it up to 1 because of the extreme heat that they dealt with in Florida, which it sounds like an odd problem to have for us up here, but that's something that they had to contend with down in Western Florida last week. So they're certainly in a good position to start the spring season.
On the other side of things, the men's golfers, they have their main season in the spring. They come back from Arizona with a big tournament slate to kind of look forward to here over the course of April. A lot of golf. Yeah,
a lot of chances for some younger players to kind of step up and become dependable parts of that lineup. It's been a pretty fluid group from top to bottom in terms of who's going to be where in the lineup, which I'm sure the coaching staff would like to sort out and get a dependable lineup when the first rounds of the conference tournament start up at Crest Creek Country Club in the middle of April.
And another team in Florida was the men's tennis team. Coach Mike Patrick told us a couple weeks ago the schedule was going to be tough. They had no Sam Sweeney, and a lot of back and forth, a lot of good tennis.
They had a chance to get a lot of guys in and get them some match experience, and they came away with a few victories against some teams that maybe they didn't expect that against. Sam's getting a bit of a late start to his season. He'll be in action this weekend at home, and they've got a couple of pretty tough matches. UW Whitewater is one of them. It's a chance for Sam to not only improve his standing within the region, but to help the team get a couple of victories.
And one team that's really gone nowhere is the football team. Their season opener is still not for about 4 or 5 months, but spring drill's just around the corner for them to kind of get a tune-up, make sure to shake off some of the rust.
Yeah, for a team that's as steeped in tradition as they are, they do have some question marks that they'd like to sort out. They're a little limited in what they can do in terms of spring drills. It's not a true spring practice like you would see from a major Division I program. But it's a chance for them to put some things in that they're like to change for next year with some different personnel and try to get a head start on fall practice in August.
And real quick, I know men's and women's track teams getting ready for the outdoor season. They're starting up here at home pretty soon.
First Chance Invitational is this weekend, a chance to get everybody out on the track and see where they're at to start the outdoor season. It's kind of a nice luxury to have the first meet and the last meet of the outdoor season on your home track. And for the coaches, I know it's nice for them to be able to get that kind of data comparable in the same facility.
Definitely going to see how they measure up. Clark, thanks for coming by.
Thank you.
We thank you for tuning into this edition of the Cardinal Report. We stick with the bats and gloves next week when the North Central softball team joins us on set. I'm Alex Simmons. We hope you'll be here too.